Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian. I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada, capital of the province of British Columbia. I hope that all of you are having a superb weekend so far. I hope that you're staying healthy, strong, and productive, having a good time. Hi Hari, hi Riyadh, Huang, Tatiana, Harjot. Nice to see many of you in the class. It's fantastic. Students, in this class, we're looking at the topic of time management, speaking part 3, not 2. We just finished speaking part 2, the cue card, about 45 minutes ago. Speaking part 3 always continues from part 2. So IELTS, let me step back a moment. IELTS speaking section, the speaking part of your exam, it's an interview, 12 to 15 minutes. It has 3 parts. First part, general questions. Part 2 is a cue card. It's a short 1 to 2 minute presentation. And then part 3 is a conversation, question and answer session between the examiner and you, dealing with the topic of part 2. So it's a bit more specific. And of course, as usual, we are using our websites, and this lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS. Visit us there. For the general IELTS, check us out at gieltshelp.com. We will be using our websites in a few moments to interact with our students. To join our premium IELTS package, click this big red button that's just right above my head there. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. And you have tons of materials. Students love our websites, so we help thousands of students. We're IDP affiliates, we're British Council partners, we're an IELTS test registration center. I'm a certified British Council agent. You can try the website by clicking the try demo. And you can, for general IELTS, go to gieltshelp.com. It's the green background. We keep the general and the academic separate. We think it makes a lot of sense. It's a different target for general and for academic. Click that big red button there, just like in the academic, and then you're off to the races. For a little bit of extra help, use the code from our most recent release, Live 9, to get an additional 10% discount. And the prices you will see are different in different countries. For me, it's the highest price because I'm in Canada, but in other countries it's even a more competitive rate. So check that out. Students, of course, we have apps for you, Academic IELTS Help and General IELTS Help. Those apps will connect to the websites. Check out Instagram, IELTS_AHelp, GIELTS Help for schedules and vocabulary. And then if you have questions, send them to my email. You can send them to adrian@aehelp.com, or you can also send them to admin@aehelp.com. Eugen, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for those lovely emojis. Well, I'm not quite sure. I'm a bit under the weather. I'm fighting some kind of a flu or something, bug, but I'm surviving. And definitely, Eugen, those emojis always help me to have a bit of extra joy in the day. So thank you for those. Students, some important announcements for our schedule, November 5th to November 13th for our live IELTS classes. Tomorrow we have our Light Hall class. Light Hall, it's a fantastic platform for live teaching. It's a free class. Check it out, register. It will be audio, video speaking. So today we have in these YouTube classes, we have audio chat, but in the Light Hall classes, we have video as well. You can share your video with me. And then tomorrow, in many countries, daylight savings will start. So the clocks get turned back 1 hour. That means that classes will be starting 1 hour later for some of you who don't have daylight savings, okay? So keep that in mind. It's very important, all right? and that will affect the schedule, especially starting next week. Okay, so keep that in mind. We'll put a notification up on the YouTube channel as well. So, and I'll make a note for myself. I think the banner has the times on there as well. So banner, daylight savings. I'm making a note to make sure that that banner is changed and updated and you don't get confused. So daylight savings, pay attention to that. And then we've got our schedule from the 10th to the 13th. We'll go into more details there later on. New video for you on YouTube. Fantastic example of a Band 9 speaking. Check that out. There's the link in the chat for you as well. Now let's cut right into IELTS speaking part 3. We're going to do a lot of practice as this is the final speaking class of this week. Well, except for the light hall class tomorrow, of course. When you're speaking, what structure do you need to remember to make sure that you're getting a good score? Okay, it's very important. Remember to always think about giving an answer plus what? So I know some of you are like, Adrian, you say this every time, because I really need to drill this point into your minds for the IELTS to get that high band score, okay? So yes, Yanni, explain example. That's right, Chen. Explanation example. So you give your answer, okay. What words can you use during your speaking, during your response, to make sure that you're including the explanation? So what are some key words that you need to just throw into your responses so that you go, okay, there's my answer, here comes the explanation. Universal Short says, cause of. Cause is very colloquial. It's not actually nice sounding English. For professional English, yeah, I definitely recommend what Fuang's saying is using because. Okay, so because, yes. So that's your explanation. Exactly, so because, or you can use since, as a result, therefore, consequently. In light of this, here's a nice expression for you. In light of this is an expression means because or as a result of this, okay? Use a variety. Corlos, it's not owing of, although it's good. It's owing to. Owing to this situation, I decided to. Yes, owing to is usually more common than owing of. Okay. Yanni, moreover is not a cause and effect. Moreover means in addition or furthermore. It means like one more point. Due to is good. Yes. All right. So then we have our explanation, right? Or at least we're following with the explanation. And after the explanation, we want to give an example. How can we make sure that we give some smooth examples? Crafter, you can ask me more than one thing, especially if it's related to IELTS speaking. How can I make sure that I include an example in my response? Okay, I'm looking at the chat there to see what you're coming up with. If you're wondering why my eyes are like this, I have the chat just on the side of my screen. Yeah, so Akira says using words like such as or like. Yes, those are good. Yanni says don't use for instance or don't use for example. Yep. Crafter, I just said you can ask me a question. Indeed is a good one, Rudra. Yeah. Indeed, the other day. Sure. Sanantha, yeah, last week, just the other day. Yeah, and then you just go right into that example, right? So instead of saying example, good. All right. Well, let's try one of these and put it together this way. Okay. Right. Okay, so the examiner says that is the end of part 2. We will now continue with part 3. For this part, I will ask you a couple of questions, or well, I will ask you some questions related to the topic of part 2 in your response. Let's talk more about time management. What are the advantages and disadvantages of scheduling activities in a calendar? Okay. Paraphrase, use your own vocabulary, use the question, answer, explain, example. I'm going to give an answer, an explanation, example. You do the same. So you give me an answer. I will look at your answers in the chat, and then I will give you feedback on your band level, on how to improve, and then we'll go from there. All right. So I'm looking for your answers. Here we go. There. So I typed it up for you. This would be my answer for this. Now, students, this is speaking, so make sure to speak and repeat. Okay, so speak and repeat. Copy what I say, copy how I say it. All right. Here we go. What are the advantages and disadvantages of scheduling activities in a calendar? The benefit of having activities in a calendar is good planning, which leads to greater productivity because a person knows what to expect in the coming days or weeks. However, the drawbacks are having a lot of pressure and lack of flexibility. Just yesterday, I felt much pressure to visit my friend because I had written this in the calendar, even though I was feeling quite tired. Crafter, you're doing it right now. Preparing at home. Join these live classes. Use our online course. All right. There you go. All right, Razik, let's see what you have. Razik says, the benefits of good time management are increased productivity and better physical state, such as having 8 hours of sleep each day. However, the negatives are failure and feeling depressed. Razik, I like it. That's a great answer. Okay, very nice. I can tell you had some good thoughts there. Watch the grammar here. Are failure and feeling, not feels depressed, but feeling depressed when tasks are not accomplished, right? Let's finish that idea. When tasks are not done. Yeah, I like it. Okay, it's good. So Razik, good. Watch your punctuation. So good. Razik says the benefits of putting events in calendars are increased productivity and better physical state, such as having 8 hours of sleep each day. However, the negatives are failure and feeling depressed when tasks are not done. I like it. That's good. All right. Karina, let's see what you have. In 2 parts. Good, Karina. Karina, one of our newer members, says the positive of scheduling activities in a calendar is becoming more productive, and one can measure the target that they want to reach. However, the negatives are we get a lot of pressure, we have a lot of pressure, or build a lot of pressure. And not make me, you can't just suddenly jump from people to me, and fatigue if people cannot do so a few corrections here, Karina. Watch your subject. So if you in part 3, it's usually you're talking about people, so stay with people. Cannot do what they plan. Like I did not go, not come, go. Okay, so I'm improving this from about a band 5 to a band 9. Like I did not go to my friend's birthday last week. Okay. All right, Karina, here's the corrected version of what you wrote. The positive of scheduling activities in a calendar is becoming more productive, and one can measure the target they want to reach. However, the negatives are we build a lot of pressure and become fatigued. Build a lot of pressure and fatigue. Especially when people cannot do what they plan, like I did not go to my friend's birthday last week. Okay, that's the corrected version there, Karina. So some corrections needed there, but you're on the right path. So for Karina and for everybody else, this is what you want to do: is say it, record it, write it, correct it, say it again. Okay, so say it, write it, correct it, say it again. All right, practice that pattern. Practice that pattern. Okay, good. Great. I see some other good ones there by Rudra, Chen, Creative Edge. And we've got a lot more questions here for part 3. So let's practice these. Now that you have a good idea, let's do this for real. Which means that we get to talk to each other. And I'm going to set up here. You're going to be able to talk to me and answer these questions, these part 3 questions, through the website. Let me show you how. Let's get into it. Okay. So for our regular viewers, you should be logging in right now. You should be checking your microphone, your internet connection, answering questions with some of the other people who are already in the chat. For newcomers, for new people to the class, You can volunteer, and I love seeing new people volunteering. It builds confidence and courage. So to volunteer for speaking, part 3 for these questions, go to the website aehelp.com. I will again put this into the chat. Okay, and then log into your My Student account. Go to Student Partner Speaking. Enable your microphone. Make sure your microphone is working. Then message me, Master, and say, I'd like to volunteer. Okay. All right. Let me show you. So this is the website, aehelp.com. Click on the big red button to get the full premium package, or click on the green button to use this service for free. Again, you don't have to pay. You can use this for free. We just want students to talk to each other. And once you do that, you will have your My Student account. In your My Student account, you've got lots of goodies: computer-based practice exams, audio CDs, videos, lots more. Right now, we are looking at Student Partner Speaking. Click on that button. Underneath it, you can book a full practice IELTS speaking interview with me if you'd like at some point. Student Partner Speaking, you accept the terms, and voila, you are in the chat interface. It's a new window, and I see lots of people in here already. That is fantastic. Amir, Ahmed, Sedvik, Gulsha, Lola, Kurlus, Rocky, Aman, Masala, Thikshana. Very nice. You will see me as Master. Send me a message. Say, I want to volunteer. And then I will be able to connect with you. Okay. I can hear a ping. Somebody is pinging me. Who's pinging me? It's Rocky, Kurlus, and Amir. Let's start with Kurlus. So Kurlus has sent me a message. You send a message by the little blue envelope. Kurlus, are you ready? And I pick random students. I try to pick new students or returning students who haven't had a chance in a while. Kurlus says, yeah. All right, Kurlus, here we go. Kurlus, I hear that you picked up, but I don't hear your voice. Check your microphone. Check your connection. Are you there? I don't hear Kurlus. So Kurlus, troubleshoot, see what's going on. We'll circle back if you figured it out. Okay, let's try Kanjiva. I believe Kanjiva volunteered just the other day. Kanjiva, are you ready? And it's totally okay to be a bit nervous, students. A lot of people are nervous, especially speaking another language in an exam type situation when you're doing it in front of other people or with other people. That's a part of it. It's one of the reasons we do this, so you feel confident. Hi, Kanjiva.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. What about you?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I can hear you're a little bit nervous. It's totally okay, Kanjiva. Don't worry about it. Kanjiva, if I remember correctly, you're from Uzbekistan?
Yeah,
Okay, from Tashkent, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. How's your weekend so far?
not bad. It's kind of boring, but
All right. You have to plan something exciting, Kanjiva. Go skydiving or bungee jumping or something.
yeah, I'll try.
Do you have in Tashkent, do you have bungee jumping?
Yes,
Oh, you
some
do?
some of my friends really into this, but I have never tried.
I tried it once years ago and it was kind of fun. I liked skydiving more, to be honest with you, but it's a good one to try once in a life. Okay, Kanjiva. So let's get into some part 3 questions. Just give me a full sentence answer. Focus really on including that example explanation element, okay?
All right.
All right, here we go. So let's talk more about time management. What are the advantages and disadvantages of scheduling activities in a calendar?
Well, actually, I don't think there might be some disadvantages, but surely there is a lot of benefits. Like if people will schedule their activities in calendar, so people will always remind about their work and don't get confused.
How have ways people remind themselves of their appointments changed from one generation before?
I think it has changed a lot. If now people usually tend to write some like reminders on their phone or put an alarm. But before, I think people usually write some notes near their workplace or somewhere that their eye can catch it, so they won't forget about it.
Why is effective time management especially important in school and work?
Sorry, can you repeat, please?
Why is effective time management especially important in school and work?
It's quite effective. Like I mentioned before, it helps people to manage their time and work, so they won't get confused after finishing one thing. They know what to do, and it also helps them to save their time. Like they won't spend time on thinking about what they are gonna do next.
Okay, we'll stop there. I'll give you some feedback. All right. So those answers, Kanjiva, will earn you about a band 6.5-ish, okay, roughly. 6.5, which means that you're somewhere between fluent and good user of the English language, okay? 6 is considered, according to IELTS band score, 6 is a fluent, 7 is a good user. So let me explain to you why. You have some grammatical mistakes, but overall your speech is quite clear. You have fairly good vocabulary, but sometimes you use not the best word in context, or the word form is a little bit off. One way that you can quickly improve this, Kanjiva, is what I started with, is making sure that you have clear explanations and examples, okay? Excuse my sneeze, I'm just fighting this cold here. So I asked you, what are the advantages and disadvantages of scheduling activities in a calendar? And you said, well, actually, I don't believe there are really disadvantages, but surely there are lots of benefits, like people will always be, and then you started to give that. But you didn't really explain to me why they will be productive and why they will be on time. So here, you should have said something like people will be productive and punctual. Do you know this word punctual?
Yeah.
And why? So what could be the explanation for this? So if I'm putting my to-do list into a calendar, why does that make me more productive and more punctual? What's the reason for it?
Like, so they can always see what they have to do.
Exactly. Yeah. So IELTS is strange like that. Like, you're like, well, the examiner should know that, right? Like everybody knows that, that's why. But the IELTS exam, when you're answering the questions, Kanjiva, and this is for everybody, so everybody, this is an important tip, you have to think about the examiner like an alien. What that means is they're very smart, they come from another planet, they're hyper intelligent, but they're not human, so they don't know what you know. You can't expect them to know what you know, and even if the reason the explanation seems obvious, you should state it so that you get those fluency marks and you get the coherence marks. So people will be productive and punctual because they can always check what they have completed and what they still need to do. So even though this seems intuitive, it's good to include that, okay? This is the reason I put all of my tasks or all of my school projects into a Google Calendar. Okay, so that would be your specific example. All right. So just repeat after me, Kanjiva. People will be productive and punctual because they can always check what they have completed and what they still need to do. This is the reason I always put my school projects into a Google Calendar spreadsheet.
People will be productive and punctual because they can always check what they have completed and what they still need to do, and so it will save their time. This is the reason why I always put my school projects into a Google Calendar spreadsheet, so it helps me.
Good. Okay. So the same idea for the following answers. They were a little bit vague. Do you know this word vague? V-A-G-U.
No.
Vague means a little bit less than complete. Okay. It means
Okay.
unclear, less than complete. And you want to find that happy medium, that happy level of answer in IELTS where it's not too much, you're not going off topic, but you're also giving clear answers, explanations, examples. I asked you this question: how have ways people remind themselves of their appointments? And you said, I think it has changed a lot. It was good that you used the present perfect. That was lovely. And then you said, like, if now, careful with the like, okay? Don't overuse like. Like if now people usually tend to write some reminders on their phone or put on an alarm. Be specific using software like Google Calendar. But before people used to write down notes. So what you're actually telling me is that we're using technology, right? And you have to clarify that. So you have to say, so people these days use more technology for scheduling than in the past. Okay, so just clarify. Remember, I'm the alien, right? You want that clarity. Does that make sense, Kanjiva, what I'm telling you with that, the clarity part?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I get why I got 6.5.
Yeah, so with your same level of English, so the same level of vocabulary that you have, the same grammar that you have, the same fluency, but with a little bit more clarity, you could push your score up to a 7 or a strong 6.5 at the least, okay? For this last question, when I asked you why is effective time management especially important in school or work, that was the weakest answer out of the 3 questions. Do you know why?
Because I couldn't. I mean, I didn't know what to say. Actually.
Yes, in some sense, yes. This question, it's targeting school and work, right? The biggest issue with your answer here was that you didn't target school and work. So you said, so can you repeat that, please? Which is okay, and I repeated the question. And here you should have said, well, at a job or in school, it is even more important to finish assignments on time, because otherwise there are dire consequences, like failing a class or getting fired. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So focus on the key parts of the question. So here it's school and work. So just repeat after me. And when I'm doing repetition, everybody, it's not just for Kanjiva, it's for everybody. It's a common mistake. So here we go. Well, at a job or in school, it's even more important to finish assignments on time. Otherwise, there are bad consequences like failing a class or getting fired.
Well, a job or in a school, it's even more important to finish assignments on time because otherwise, there are consequences like failing or failing a class or getting fired.
Yep. And if you don't say failing a class, you just say failing, that's okay. Repeat this word after me. Assignments.
Assignments,
Yeah, no, you don't pronounce that G. Assignments.
assignments.
Good. Yeah, that G is kind of almost a silent G in that word. Kanjiva, otherwise very, very good. Keep in mind that IELTS isn't meant to be super tricky, so don't overcomplicate the ideas in your head, right? Why is time management important in schoolwork? Well, because if you don't do your work, you get fired, right? Or you fail. So keep the thoughts simple, okay?
Yeah.
All right, otherwise good. Keep up the practice. I hope to see you back again, okay?
Yeah. Thank you.
You're
Have a
welcome.
nice day.
Thank you, you too. Bye. All right, that was Kanjiva. Give her a thumbs up. That was great. I picked on her speech quite a bit there, just kind of as a, she was the first volunteer, so I wanted to give a lot of clarity of direction of what you need to do in speaking part 3 for those higher band scores. Yani, Sanantha, thanks for the thumbs up. Students, it's really important to support each other in these live classes and in the volunteering. Let's see some other volunteers. Let's take somebody who might be new, Karanveer. I don't think we've talked to Karanveer. Karanveer, please pick me next. Well, are you ready? Your wish is my command. Karanveer, are you ready for some questions about time management? Okay, and yeah, IELTS, any topic is possible, so definitely they might talk to you about time management. Why not, right? It's a common part of most people's lives. Okay, now I can see lots of thumbs up for Kanjiva. That's fantastic. Karanveer, if you're still there, let me know. Give me a sign. There you are. Hello, Karanveer. Are you there? Sounds like you picked up. Give me a sign, say hello. I can't hear you. It's very quiet on your end of the line. Students, it's really important when you have a minute to check and make sure that you have a good connection, that your microphone is set up, that in the browser you click, yes, allow this website to use my microphone and speakers. If you click no, makes it impossible for us to connect, right? So check it out with another student. If you have a VPN that's throwing your signal all over the world, or if you're trying to talk to me on a phone, in a concrete building, those are going to be problems. So remember, the internet is not perfect, and using audio connection around the world is still sometimes tricky. So you have to make sure that it's working. Okay. Karanveer, troubleshoot, check it out, connect with another student, come back to me. All right. Let's take Amir. I don't think we've heard from Amir in a while. Are you new? Okay, Amir says I'm new here. Sure, I thought we've had an Amir in the past. Are you ready, Amir? All right. Amir, if you're there, give me a sign. Just type yes, or I'm ready, or let's do this. Yes, sir, that will suffice. Okay, Amir.
Hello.
Hi, Amir.
Hello, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Amir, this is your first time connecting with me?
Yes, sir. This is my first time, and I'm highly motivated and happy for it.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Amir,
Thank you,
where
sir.
are you calling from? What part of the world?
I'm calling from Tunisia.
Tunisia. Nice. And why are you taking the IELTS?
Well, I'm planning to pursue master studies.
In what field, may I ask?
Okay, in electrical engineering.
In electrical engineering.
Engineering.
In Tunisia or in another country?
Well, I have two possibilities, either in Canada or Australia.
Okay. Come to Canada. It's better here.
Yeah, I have heard, I
I
have
can't,
heard a lot
I'm
of
Canadian, I
good.
have to say that. No,
Yes, I know, you know.
Australia is an awesome country too. I'm kidding with you, but yeah, I'm gonna say Canada. All right, well, Amir, here we go. I'm going to ask you some part 3 questions. Give me some nice full sentence answers, okay?
Okay.
All right, here we go. So let's talk
By
about.
the way, sir, I am Razik on YouTube. Amir Razik.
Oh, okay. Amir Razik. All right,
Okay.
got you.
Okay.
Got
Thank
it.
you.
Got it. All right, so here we go. How have ways people remind themselves of their appointments changed from one generation before?
Well, the way people tracking appointment dates have changed significantly over the past few decades. In the past, people used to papers and pens to write down the date of their appointments. However, these days, technology is playing an important role, especially with the use of mobile phones and softwares such as the Notify Me application I have downloaded about years ago from Google Store, and it really helped, and it really helps me to remind me of important appointments.
Why is effective time management especially important in school and work?
Well, you know, good time management is essential for success, either for school or work. Uh, you know, uh, Lots of deadlines and lots of assignments, and people should deliver their work in time. And falling behind schedule certainly going to have serious negative consequences, such as failing in a test or even being fired from the job.
Let's talk about being organized. Some people feel it's important to have a very organized home, while others feel that this is a waste of time. Why is there this difference in beliefs?
Well, I think it's depend on the personality of a person. It's something that's not the same for all people. Some people are organized, have that sense of organization. They want to have every equipment or items placed in its place, so they know where is it when they need it. However, others people have that kind of energy, and they want to feel more. They don't feel the need, or they don't feel. They don't need to know where is it. For instance, I like to know where
What
my
kinds of
items are.
things do people? Okay, so I'm going to interrupt you there because that's what the examiner would do. They would just interrupt
No
you at
problem.
that point. So if the examiner feels like you're just talking and you're kind of lost and you're not sure what you're saying, then they're going to just boom interrupt you. Go to the next question. That's what they do. That's their instructions. So of course you want to avoid that, right? Okay. First of all, Amir, lovely English, very nice. I can tell that you've used English a lot and you've done a lot of work with English, practicing, speaking, studying over the years, maybe watching quite a few movies in English as well. So good, you're in the right direction. Okay, what you need to do is you need to refine your speaking. By refine your speaking, I mean that what you're doing right now, you need to practice it and just practice having clarity. Okay. In this last question that I asked you, don't be afraid, and this is for everybody, okay? Don't be afraid to use a statement like, just a moment, let me gather my thoughts, right? So if you feel like you're all over the place and you're getting lost, you can say, just a moment, let me gather my thoughts. And then you can continue. You can say, and then stop for a second. Literally, Amir, stop for like 2-3 seconds. Think, okay, why are some people disorganized? And then remember the question, right? So you can say, okay, I guess some people know where they have their belongings, even if their home is disorganized. and they don't want to spend time cleaning. Okay, so keep it simple. So just repeat this after me, Amir. Just a moment. Let me gather my thoughts. Okay. I guess some people just know where they have their belongings, even when their home is disorganized, and they don't want to spend time cleaning.
Okay, just a moment. Let me gather my thoughts. I guess some people know where their items are, even if their home is disorganized, and they want to spend time cleaning.
And they don't want to spend time cleaning.
And they don't want to spend their time cleaning.
Perfect. Okay. So just like that.
Okay.
So it's totally okay, especially when you have good fluency. Like you have good fluency. Kanjiva, who was here a moment ago, she has good fluency. So the examiner can tell that you have good fluency. They want you now to have good content. And to make sure that you have good content, if you need a moment, ask for a moment. Okay. So it's totally okay in this way. It's conversation style. All right. You had some really nice expressions as well. You have a couple of small mistakes here and there with the correct word form, singular instead of plural, and such. But again, you can correct that by recording yourself, identifying those mistakes, and then giving a good answer. So let me see here. Yeah, so you said... good time management is essential for success in either school or work. Really nice use of that correlative conjunction, Amir. The either or, that was really good. Use those lots, and this is a tip for everybody. So using either or, neither nor, whether or, they're very good for clear communication. Okay. And then you said, lots of deadlines and assignments. Avoid saying it's considered casual, colloquial language, and it's often false. What if I don't know, right? So sometimes people say like, in Tanzania, there's a lot of, and I'm like, I've never been there. I have no idea, right? So you have to be really careful with that. I know it's a filler and I know it's an expression, but in good professional language, be careful with that, okay? Good use of verbs, by the way. I noticed that you have very good verb use. So you said people should deliver their work. That was a very nice use of that verb in that context, Amir. So keep up the good studies. I'm sure you will reach your goal of Canada or Australia for your master's. I think you have the right level. I definitely think you're at about a band 6.5 range, and I think that with a bit of practice, you can easily be at the 7, even 7.5 range for your IELTS speaking score. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you for the all the work that you are delivering and you are providing for us, and you are really a legend for us all.
Thanks, Amir. I appreciate your feedback. Have a lovely rest of your day. Bye for now. Okay, that was Amir. Well spoken. Amir is well spoken. He expresses himself. That was really good. Let's give him a thumbs up, right? Okay, let's take somebody else here who we haven't heard from maybe in a little while. Let me see who's volunteering. Ibshita, we heard from you not so long ago. Maybe Rocky here. We haven't, I don't know. I don't remember speaking with Rocky. Rocky, are you available? Are you ready? If yes, let me know. Thanks for the thumbs up, guys. That's great. I love to see the support. Support is so important. I love to see that. Okay. Rocky, if you're there, let me know. Students, make sure you're learning from each other. So when I'm giving feedback and I'm explaining vocabulary and explaining the pros and cons of the responses, note those down. Okay. Note those down. All right. Zia's asking, how much time do we have left? I'm going to take a few more volunteers, I think. At least a couple more, anyway. Rocky says yes. Rocky, if you're there, pick up the phone. Seems like you're there. All right, Rocky, not sure what's going on there. My ears are ringing off my head, so I'm going to jump to somebody else here. Let's see. Devraj Singh. See if Devraj is there. Devraj, are you ready? All right. FFSE. Thank you for that feedback. That's very flattering. Devraj, if you're there, give me a sign so I can reach out to you. We've got a few people from Nepal. That's awesome. All right, Devraj, here we go. Hello, Devraj. Are you with me? Is your microphone enabled? Students, by the way, make sure that you're not trying to use your camera or audio multiple apps at the same time. That does not work, okay? So I always tell people to mute YouTube when you pick up the phone. Devraj, all I'm getting is crickets. Crickets. All I get is crickets. Crickets means I don't hear anything. Crickets is that little insect that goes chirip, chirip, chirip. So crickets. Devraj, check your setup. All right. Okay. Let's see. Ishani. Are you ready? Once more, students, when you're on the website and you're looking to volunteer, before you try to connect with me, especially if it's your first time, I highly, highly recommend checking your system. Make sure you enabled your microphone. Make sure you have a good connection. Make sure you don't have some kind of a blocker going on that's stopping you from connecting, right? Ishani. Ishani. I can hear you. I can hear myself. How are you?
Hi.
I can hear you. I can hear myself. Ishani, can you mute YouTube? So the little speaker on YouTube, just click it so we're not getting double audio.
Okay.
Awesome.
It is clear.
Crystal clear, Ishani. Where are you calling from?
I'm from Indonesia.
From Indonesia. Yeah, we have a very good connection. It sounds like you're inside my head. Where in Indonesia are you?
I'm in one of region. It is Yogyakarta. Did you know that?
Yogyakarta. I'm going to try to even just pronounce it. Yogyakarta?
Yogyakarta.
Yogyakarta. No, I'm not familiar with it. I'm sorry, but it's got an interesting name. And why are you taking the IELTS exam?
It is about for the requirements to the master degree. I mean, I have a dream to go to the study abroad for the master degree.
Where would you like to go? What would you like to study?
I want to go to Australia or New Zealand.
Not Canada? You make me cry. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I know New Zealand and Australia are much closer, first of all, to Indonesia. And the climate, well, New Zealand maybe no, but Australia, the climate is a lot more similar to Indonesia. Canada, well, it's pretty cold over here for us, most parts of the country. So. Summertime, though, gets hot. Summertime gets hot in Canada. Okay, well, let me ask you some part 3 questions, and then I'll give you some feedback. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, let's do it. Let's talk about being organized. Some people feel it is important to have a very organized home, while others feel that it's a waste of time. Why is there this difference in beliefs?
Let me think. It maybe there is some people who like to do spontaneous actions because of saving time and energy, and they could take risks some happen in the future. Differ with people who make management time earlier before to do some activities. they may have personality which is on-time person.
What kinds of things do people need to keep organized these days that our grandparents didn't have to worry about?
The first thing that come to mind are about clean room that organized. All people is furious when our room is dirty, so we need to keep organized in our spotless room. And because of I'm student, it could be study schedule. They would be mad if we are get bad score too. So it is necessary to keep our schedule time to study.
If a person wants to improve their organizational skills, what can they do?
They can exercise regularly with scheduled time, as they could help people to productive. So it is important to make organizational ability. People need to practice it day by day to get better organized actions.
Okay, that's the end of part 3. And that concludes the speaking section of the IELTS exam. Okay, all right. So overall, that would be about a band 5.5 to 6.
You say?
You have...
It is.
Yeah. So you have a lot of English. I can tell. Like, you have a lot of vocabulary, and you have quite nice pronunciation. It's very easy to understand your words. But your answers are often quite confusing, at least for me. It sounds like your ideas and your words are a bit mixed up, and they seem to be missing prepositions or correct word forms, linking words that would just make it a lot easier to comprehend and understand. A really good practice to improve that is just to do a lot of reading and to do a lot of listening to kind of clean up the language a bit, to organize it a bit better. Are you following me? Also, keep in mind some key points like technology. So I asked you this question: what kinds of things do people need to keep organized these days that our grandparents may not have needed to worry about? And you said, well, the first thing that comes to mind are about clean room that organized. So this is what I mean. So the first thing that comes to mind is, because it's one, is about keeping a clean room. And then that's clear language. So just the word order, word selection there. Now, keeping a clean room, that's kind of weird, because I'm pretty sure my grandparents had to keep a clean room. They had to probably keep it cleaner than we do these days. Whenever there's a question on the IELTS exam, and again, this is just a tip for everybody, whenever there's a question that's comparing current generations to past generations, you should immediately think about technology. So technology. If you think about technology, there are a lot of different parts of technology that we keep organized now that our grandparents never even thought about, right? Can you give me an example of what that is? So what is something in technology that many of us try to keep organized, but our grandparents are like, what? What do you think in technology?
In technology, that we keep organized.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think some of it. Sorry, can you help me?
Yeah, sure. Like social media. Do you keep your social media organized? Like your pictures and your videos and documents? Do you keep those organized in your social media or on your laptop for your schoolwork?
Yeah, it could be the social media.
Yeah, you create files, folders, and you put, one class into one folder, another class into another folder, right? Or your emails, you keep your emails organized, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Did grandpa, grandma keep their emails organized back in the, 70s?
Oh,
Not so
oh, it
much.
is about it is about we our help to grandparents.
Yeah, so this question, it's asking you, what are things? So what are parts of life that people nowadays keep organized, but our grandparents never thought about it or they never kept it organized? You kind of have to think about like how did the world change? So what do we have today that our grandparents didn't have and we keep those organized? I know it's a challenging question, but it's coming
Yes.
close to the end of part 3. And in part 3, don't be surprised if you get, some questions that make you think a little bit more, but it doesn't mean that you have to overthink. You just have to keep it simple, right? Like when it's present to past generations, think technology. So let me give you an answer here and then just repeat it after me. Try to do it purely from listening. Okay, I'm not even going to write it down. So, well, these days, people have to keep technology organized. Emails or files, pictures, videos on the computer, especially in social media like Facebook. And our grandparents didn't have to worry about this because they didn't have this kind of technology. What kinds of things do people need to keep organized these days that our grandparents may not have needed to worry about?
Yes, it is about the social media and file organized.
Keep going.
It is about to make the file and some. Sorry,
Let
I
me help
can't.
you. I'll do it one more time. That's okay. That's totally okay. And this is the kind of repetition that you want to do. You just stop, rewind, go again. So these days, people need to keep their technology organized, hardware and software. People keep their emails organized, their social media pictures and videos. Our grandparents didn't worry about this because they didn't have this kind of technology. Okay, one more time. What kinds of things do people need to keep organized these days that our grandparents may not have needed to worry about? Ishani, are you there? I don't know if I lost Ishani there. Ishani, did I lose you? Ishani, don't worry about it. No pressure. No pressure. Just a tip for everybody. Ishani, thank you for volunteering. Let's give Ishani a thumbs up. I know I was really encouraging her there to just repeat and copy. Ishani says, sorry, I have a bad connection. No, it's totally okay, Ishani. So again, students, no stress, right? All you do is you do your best and you keep going back and you keep repeating until you knock it out of the park, right? So take it step by step, right? And again, just an important tip there. You want to think about technology, how the world has changed, especially when you get questions where you're comparing the present to the past, okay? All right, let's take one more volunteer. Let's see if Iqbal is here with us. Iqbal, are you ready? And it's all about practice. And, thumbs up to everybody who's volunteered so far. I know it takes a lot of courage, and I commend you for it. Iqbal, are you ready to give us some questions? Okay. All right. Don't call me, I'll call you. Iqbal, if you're ready, let me know. Okay. Iqbal, if you are there, give me a sign. Okay, I don't think Iqbal is there. Let's see, who else is in here? I thought we had Alexander in here earlier, but I think Alexander has left. Oh, no, Alexander's there. Okay, let's give Alexander a shot. All right, you're just moving around. Hi, Alexander. Are you ready? I know Alexander's been waiting very patiently.
Hello.
Hi, Alexander, how are you?
Again, much better after your call.
I thought I would bring a little bit of sunshine into your day, Alexander.
Sure.
Any special plans for the weekend?
Oh, there's normal. Just visiting some relatives and some meetings. Nothing special.
Same
English is
old,
off.
same old. Okay, so some meetings, some relatives. Good.
English movies, series, TV series.
Oh, okay. What movie are you planning to watch this weekend?
As I told you, I'm a big fan of How I Met Your Mother, about a Canadian girl
Yeah.
who lives in New York, and some new serial, Little Voice, on Apple TV. I would recommend to everybody.
Okay, great. Yeah. How I Met Your Mother is quite entertaining. It's a comedy series, and it got quite popular for sure. Right? It's the meeting of cultures and people trying to make a go of it in New York. It's always entertaining.
Right.
Okay. All right, Alexander. Let me ask you a couple of questions here. Are you ready?
Sure.
All right. Let's talk a bit more about time management. What are the advantages and disadvantages of scheduling activities in a calendar?
So, in my humble view, biggest advantage to keep a calendar is to plan your time properly, more wisely, prudently, because our life rhythm is so crazy sometimes. We have so huge amount of information and deadlines and plans and obligations and desires, plans, which we have to organize, create some priorities, and probably find the most important points, and sometimes choose important one when urgent one, or vice versa, depends on situation. Without that, I think
How
our
have
life
ways
is quite
people remind themselves of their appointments changed from one generation before?
Yes, the situation have changed dramatically, I would say. So we have so many tools and equipment, digital equipment and digital helpers us to remind about appointments, about deadlines, about our priorities as well. And so it's much easier for us than it used to be before. So our parents use written calendars or some kind of reminders or calls, telephone calls to remind somebody about something. But in our case, it's much easier. Even we have a choice.
Let's talk about
different
being
calendars.
organized. If a person wants to improve their organizational skills, what can they do?
As I told already, I do think that everybody should have a to-do list. And it's very easy, in my view, to make it in an Excel file and to put some priorities. And after that, to create your daily schedule connected to these priorities and with reference to your additional duties and the time frame of your work or studies or your promises to somebody else. But for every day or every week, you have to put some targets, I guess. And I heard even for English, it's very valuable to check a fulfillment list every night before you sleep. Then you can somehow
that is
develop
the end of part 3. That concludes the speaking section of the IELTS exam. You will have your score in about 2 days online after you finish all the other sections, and your official certificate in the mail in about 10 days. Goodbye. Don't go anywhere, Alexander. I'm going to give you some feedback, okay? Alexander, overall, very good. You, for me, it's obvious that you have a lot of vocabulary. So your lexical resource mark would be like a band 8, okay? Your fluency is quite good as well. Your pronunciation is quite good. Your overall band score would be probably closer to about a 7, okay? Which is good. It would be measured as good English. In order to get to that band 8, the very good English, you have to be more focused. What I find that you're doing is that you're kind of, and don't take this the wrong way, you tend to ramble. It means that you're talking and then talking and then talking, and then you reiterate a lot. Do you know what reiteration is? Reiterate.
To stop myself? Or,
no, the word reiterate. Do you know the
try
meaning?
to find synonym of different...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, reiterate means that you're basically saying what you already said, but in 2 or 3 different ways.
Yes.
And in good communication, you want to avoid that because, or in very good communication, I should say, because your listener's going, okay, well, I got it. You already said that. You already said that in 2 other ways, right? So you don't need to tell me that in more ways, right? So, and you do that a fair bit. So you tell it to me in 1 word, and then you tell it to me in another word right away, and then another word, and it's like, okay, let's keep moving. So focus on being more concise, Alexander, with your responses. Okay. All right. So once you've said it, give me an explanation, give me an example, or give me a different piece of information. But don't reiterate so much. All right. Reiteration is good practice for learning English. I agree with you on that. So paraphrasing and reiteration, but in the IELTS exam, during the exam situation, you don't want to reiterate too much. Okay.
Do you mean not to repeat the same message, right?
Exactly. That's exactly what I mean, right? So I asked you this first question. What are the advantages, disadvantages? And you said, in my humble view, the biggest advantage to keeping some word form mistakes, so pay attention to those, to keeping a calendar is to plan your time. Watch this use of your you. Okay, instead of using the your you for professional speech, okay, a person's time more. And I like this word, like I said, you have fantastic vocabulary. Prudently, prudent to be more scrupulous is another word for that. Scrupulous. Okay, scrupulous. To be precise, to be very focused on the specific achievement. So prudent. Yes, good. And then you said, because our life is written down, because activities are written down. It'll be a little bit clearer.
Sorry, then I have a question. I know you are against to use you, but if I use we, is it the same annoying, or it's more more valuable?
Good question. Using we is slightly better than you, because we in some sense means people. So when you say we, we're referring to people in general. However, you do have to be careful with we also, because that means you've pulled your listener into the concept or the communication. And that doesn't, always work. Like November, for example, is called Movember. November is the month. This might be interesting for some people. November, a lot of men grow a mustache to bring awareness to men's health issues, right? Let's say that you are talking to a female examiner. You see where I'm going with this, right? So you're speaking with and then you say something like, well, when we grow a mustache and we bring awareness to, and your female examiner is like, okay, I'm sorry, sir, but I don't grow a mustache, right? So you have to be careful with who your audience is when you're using we or you. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
All right. But good question. Slightly better than you. Okay. All right. Since your English is quite good and you have all this vocabulary, Alexander, start to really work on differentiating casual English from professional English. And that means, separating this concept of you and we, or even separating words like huge. You said sometimes we have a huge amount of information. Sometimes we have a great amount or much information. right? Huge is more colloquial. And when somebody reaches that band 7 level like you have, then to take that next step into the very good and expert user of English, you have to start controlling the professional versus casual language more. So focus on that and identify it. So think, okay, I'm going to speak professionally. I'm going to speak professionally. I'm going to speak casually, right? So really identify which one you're doing, okay?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Overall, Alexander, awesome. Lovely to hear and speak with you. Keep up the good practice, and I hope you have some good laughs with some of those sitcoms this weekend.
Thank you very much, sir. Have a nice weekend too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, let's give Alexander a thumbs up. That was really good. All right. So Daisy's saying, I just wonder how long a mustache would be if someone didn't shave for a whole month of November. Well, Daisy, that's what a lot of people do in November now that we call it Movember because it's mustache, November, Movember. It's a newer kind of tradition that's been started in the past couple of decades, and it's to raise attention to men's health. And many men stop shaving their mustache for the month of November. Students, it was a lovely class, and it was lovely to have you all here with me. Tomorrow, don't forget, we've got this class for free on Lighthall. Lighthall is an awesome platform where you can get live teaching with video, audio, real time with other students, not just for English, but for engineering and a lot of other topics as well. So check out our class tomorrow. It's going to start at 13:30. That's because we have daylight savings midnight tonight. So pay attention to that. 13:30 UTC, Universal Standard Time. Check out our websites, aehelp.com for academic IELTS, glshelp.com for general IELTS, where you can get lots more help for your speaking as well as other sections of the IELTS. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out for now. I hope to see you all in Lighthall tomorrow. And have a great rest of your Saturday. Bye for now, everyone. Much love to all of you.